Willkommen, this is Julia.
And this is Shane. And this is Think Plant-Based. Think Plant-Based. Make sure to check out recipes, health tips, travel tips at www.thinkplantbased.com.
And we're officially on iTunes, so please rate and write us a review on iTunes.
Write us a review. Give us 2 stars, 3 stars, maybe 5 stars. Let us know.
For sure, 5.
Yeah, I mean, who would give us 2 stars anyways,
yeah.
Right? But yeah, make sure to do that because that's how we get found.
Remember when we went to Sechelt?
I do. In the summer.
Yeah, exactly. It was so cool. We saw this vegan place called Hooraw.
Out of nowhere off the highway.
Yeah.
Driving through Sechelt. And we said, whoa, we got to stop here.
Right. And I was hungry. I was like, I want to eat something healthy, good, tasty. And there was Hooraw, and we went in. And
Hurrah. Yeah. Hurrah for hurrah. Because it was delicious food when we went in there.
It was so hard to choose. And wow, there was so much to choose from, it's like,
and their soft serve was great.
Right, that was amazing. And we have the owner here.
Yeah,
today.
Hans, how's it going?
Hi.
Good morning. It's going great. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, our pleasure.
Yeah, so great to have you.
And thanks for dropping in to our little hole in the wall there in Sechelt.
Yeah, it's right off the highway.
and I love
miss
how
it.
you love our name.
Yeah, it's so great. It's so catchy too, like you can't get it out of your mind.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, please tell the listeners more about yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So, like as you said, my name is Hans, or Hans, as people call me here. I'm originally from Switzerland. I was born in Switzerland, and I was born and raised, and I came over to Canada when I was 20. Mm-hmm. So that was a long time ago. That was back in 1973 when I moved over to Canada, and I've been here ever since. I've moved to the Sunshine Coast about 4 years ago, moving from North Vancouver. But yeah, so my story about getting into this industry is kind of I'm just going to share this like how I remember it. It really all kind of started back in 2013. And I really vividly remember being back in Toronto visiting my daughter, and it was December 2013. And I was just on one of those warm December days in Toronto. I was at the St. Lawrence Street Market. And I was sitting there having lunch by myself. I was eating a raw Pad Tai from one of the small vendors that was down at the market there. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking like how incredibly amazing this food is. And I was really turned on a little earlier to raw vegan food, and I kind of had it on and off. And it was in that moment as I was sitting there that I'm thinking like, wow, this is really something that I might be able to do. Like, I really want to devote my life to really taking care of myself. And I was really sitting there, and I'm remembering like how present and how blessed I felt, like how good I was, how good things were for me at that time. Because 2 months earlier, I was actually at the Lionsgate Hospital, intubated and in intensive care, and I was in an induced coma for about not 2 weeks, but over a week. I was in an induced coma. And what really happened, the effect of that, and it had nothing to do with food. This wasn't food related. But what really happened is when I came out of the coma and I was back present to what was going on, I really experienced some real digestive problems. And I'm sure it was because of being fed intravenously for like that long a time. Right. And with the accumulation of all the drugs and, antibiotics and so on. And I was really bummed on how bad that was. And after I left the hospital, I went on a short cleanse and really tried to do something that was more food related to heal that rather than taking more drugs and antibiotics and so on. So What I ended up doing is I remember my dad when I was young. He used to make sauerkraut. He used to grow his own cabbage, and so every year he made sauerkraut. And I read somewhere that was a really good way of rebuilding your healthy gut flora.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started making sauerkraut just the way my dad used to make.
Wow.
I loved it. I just totally loved it. And someone was then actually saying to me is that eating sauerkraut, like lacto-fermented sauerkrauts or lacto-fermented vegetables, was a form of raw vegan foods.
Right.
So that's how I sort of got turned on to it. And then so now going back to Toronto, I'm sitting there and I'm going like, I'm thinking to myself, I could really do this, not just for myself, but for other people too, and make a living out of it. And that's when I went back to my daughter's home, and I said to her, Erika, you know what? I really want to start doing this, and I already had the name in mind. And I said, I want to call it Hooraw. Like, I want to make it really fun, like Hooraw.
Hurrah.
Yeah. Were you always into cooking yourself?
No, well,
like making meals.
I was always
at home?
into food. I mean, you saw me, like, I was always into food. Like, I never, I always enjoyed food. My background's really in graphic design and marketing. I used to be actually the marketing director for many years for a Sears license department, which was called Sears Health and Fitness. So I was a health food store within Sears.
Oh, cool.
And so that was a little bit of a connection to the health food industry that I had.
Yeah.
But I was never a health foodie or anything like that. I would say, like, I was on and off vegan depending on the time in my life.
Right.
But I was never like, I didn't even know what a vegan was. Like, and then I started discovering that more recently.
Right. So what made the switch? Like, were you like, okay, now I'm going on that vegan train. Now I'm not going back. I'm not looking back.
Well, what made me switch was, like, really when I go back to that moment, realizing that the way to really start to restore my digestion, my gut health, was to eat clean foods.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And by clean foods, I mean like buying my own foods, buying my own veggies, and to just prepare myself. And I realized that, like, any kind of meats, especially like red meats, are so contaminated. Even and it wasn't necessary. It was always felt so heavy. Mm-hmm. Because I started feeling so much lighter when I was eating the not just the raw but the vegetables, and just really going for a plant-based diet. I mean, back then it wasn't even so trendy to call it plant-based. It's more now,
right?
And that's what really, it's just a really cleaner living. That made the difference for me.
Definitely. Yeah, for me too.
Yeah. So what's an easy way to stick on eating the way that you do when you have such a busy lifestyle? Yeah.
Like for the listeners, because it's sometimes hard for them, I find, to stick to like plant-based diet, like fully committed,
When you're never home to cook.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
Or you don't even know how to
totally.
cook.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And obviously, I mean, that's one of the reasons that I started doing this. I mean, the idea was always to open up a cafe. That's why I called it Hooraw Cafe.
Right.
That's the name of my company. But what I had envisioned was more like a cafe than what it is now. What ended up happening is that the way it is now, the way my business is now, it's more of a commissary kitchen with a little bit of a retail storefront.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good way of running.
It is. It looks really good. I love your place.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah. And so the idea really was behind it when I started this is like you just said, like a lot of people, like they want to get into this, but they find it's hard to cook or to have it prepared. But that's the thing with people that are not vegan too. Like when they have a busy lifestyle, they like foods that are being prepared or ready to prepare easily.
Right.
And that's it has nothing to do with being vegan or non-vegan. It's an excuse when people say, "Oh, vegan, it's hard to prepare." But that's why I say that's why we started this, is to actually to make it accessible to people and to make it easy on people, right? So they can come in and buy ready foods or foods that are really easily prepared. You know, just like any other grocery store. Right. You know, it shouldn't really be any different because people are, you know, people are like it's, sometimes they say it's hard, and I say, like, I really don't believe that it's easy or hard way to stick to it. It's not easy or a hard way to stick to a plant-based diet. It's just a way, you know, you just got to find your way. And when you find your way, and you get a convenient way of doing it, then just go for it, you know, and eventually start making your own meals and start making, you know, preparing your own foods. And that's, like I said, that's why we're there. I want it to be convenient for everyone. And, you know, the other idea behind it, obviously, is that I wanted it to be a community of small businesses on the Sunshine Coast that are now having the ability to have access to a commercial kitchen, but also to have access to a retail outlet year round. So they're not just restricted to local markets that are happening on weekends. So they're available 7 days a week. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, right. Sometimes you just have to do it instead of like thinking in your mind. I find once we get the action doing, let's say we want to go on the vegan train, you know, it just comes naturally. It becomes easier. Yeah. But if you just have it in your mind, oh yeah, I would like to one day, it really never happens if you're not going to take the action, right?
Mm-hmm. Nothing ever happens in your mind.
Yeah, right? It kind of starts.
Nothing ever happens.
Your goals aren't achieved if you don't do anything about them.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Totally. It's only action that only happens out there, right? Like, you know, you just got to take that step and do it.
Right.
It's funny, like, people come into the store often and they, you know, the first thing they say, so I'm not vegan. I go like, okay, well, that's fine. Great. You're still welcome here. You don't have to have a vegan passport.
Exactly.
And you can still eat vegan food, you know. And so my little thing there is I always say, like, you know, I'm not Italian and I eat Italian food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
That's a good way of framing it, for sure.
Yeah, right?
And a lot of people just put this frame on it. Well, I'm not vegan, so I'm not going to eat vegan food, or I don't like vegan food, but, you know.
Right.
And it's an excuse. It's an excuse for, you know, I had someone come in the other day who, and I, you know, actually, I'm going to actually like talk about this at the end there too, but I'm organizing a vegan festival, which is happening in Sechelt as well.
Right.
And someone was in yesterday, and she said, yeah, but I'm not vegan. And I go like, it's okay. You don't have to have a passport or anything to get it.
Yeah, right.
What did she say?
Yeah, well, they laugh. You know, I like to keep things light and humorous, you know.
Right.
So, because when I go way back and I'm thinking of like vegan places, or especially like when I started doing raw vegan and I went to visit some of the raw vegan restaurants or stores, it always seemed so serious and intimidating, you know, like
it can,
definitely.
Yeah, there was something like, I don't really want to go in there, and you know, then people are going to ask me questions, and I don't know what to say. Like, keep it light. You know, that's why I wanted to come up with a name like that, like Hooraw. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's welcoming.
There's no stigma to it. It's just food. That's all it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I find like some raw food places. I mean, I've been a raw vegan for a while. Years ago, and they would ask me too, like, how much percentage are you raw? You know, if you go to a raw food place, oh, are you raw? You know, it's like, that's like what makes people intimidated, or like that they kind of dare even, like, should they go in now? I don't want to actually start that conversation right now, right? Because
you shouldn't even need to ask that. You should just be like, enjoy some food. Whatever you call it, it's food.
Or even vegan events. We shouldn't even ask, like, oh, who's vegan here and who's not? You know, like, just let people be and have the experience of learning at that event, you know, because we don't want to preach to the choir either if we have, like, let's say, vegan events, or we want to show, like, how animals are slaughtered and treated in this world. Because in the end, like, we want to make an impact for the people that are actually there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we want to make an impact on the environment as well, right?
Yeah.
everything.
Because eating the conventional way, like eating meat, is really contributing to the destruction of our environment.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, definitely. I mean, yes, if we could go back to the way we was in the caveman ages, yeah, that would be maybe different. But you know, we're not anymore there. Like we've really got it to a point where, you know, it's not like it's literally almost no return. And the only way we can do that is to actually stop and just really looking to stop the destruction as much as possible. Yeah. So exactly. That there is a future for our kids, for our grandkids, you know, and it's not fair. It's not really fair, like, to them when you really think about it. So.
That's so true. I agree. Yeah. Any exciting future plans for you, Hans?
Yeah, you mentioned.
Well, like I just
beds.
Yeah, like I just said, it's it's the Sunshine Coast Vegan Festival that we're organizing.
Nice.
And it's actually happening exactly a week from now.
Oh well, we better get this podcast out real quick.
Yeah, it's on October 20th, and it's at the Sechelt Community Hall, which is, you know, and I always say this ironically, right behind McDonald's in Sechelt.
Nice. Okay. That's good. Yeah. You get all the customers.
Yeah, but that's the easy way to find it. So, so it'll be from 10 to 4, and there's a lot of vendors from Vancouver coming over.
Oh wow.
That I'm sure you're familiar with, and then some vendors from the Sunshine Coast as well. So we're really super excited about that. Yeah. And it'll give myself new connections, you know, to build my business over here and build awareness on the coast. Because even though we've been open for just over a year, almost a year and a half now, we're still like almost like one of the best kept secrets over here. So
definitely, we just drove by and found it. So we want to spread the word so everyone else is going to Sunshine Coast can be like, oh yeah, there's good vegan food here.
And we saw David coming out of it from Plant Based. We're like, that must be a good place. So better go in there too now.
Right. Oh yeah, and there's a few food trucks that are coming over, so it'll be fun. It'll be a fun event. We have some great speakers. So come on down. And, you know, for all you people in Vancouver, the Sunshine Coast isn't that far away. And it's a cool little quick getaway destination for a weekend. And a lot of Vancouverites haven't even discovered the Sunshine Coast yet. So
I have, that's crazy. One of my first years I'm starting to discover. I mean, I grew up in Germany, but like I've been living here for some years now. And yeah, it's really nice, you know, and cozy place, and just like where your location is, you know, it's just perfect. Like you like to hang out there. You just don't want to stop by. You actually want to like hang out there, you know, and enjoy the food and
take it to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. So how can the listeners find you, Hans?
How can they find me? Well, they can find me. I'm just going to give you the address. So we're in Sechelt, at 5523 or 5523, and we're on Wharf Avenue. And it's actually really easy to find when you drive into Sechelt and you stay on what we call the Sunshine Coast Highway, and you kind of follow that right around. So we're right. Wharf Avenue is just an extension of Sunshine Coast Highway. So you can either find me there, or you can find us on Instagram under Hooraw Forever, and it's like 4 spelled with 4. But I think if you put in Hooraw, HOORAW, I'm sure you'll find it. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. That's one of the things you can find. We're on Happy Cow. We're on all the. What's the other one?
Perfect.
On everywhere. You're on Think Plant-Based now?
Well,
You're everywhere now.
Yeah, we put you on our show notes.
Yeah, we'll put all the information on the show notes so everyone can
that's
find
awesome.
You. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
I will. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, as we call it. Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Eat tofu and save a turkey.
Yes.
I agree.
I agree on that as well.
Nice. Take care, Hans.
All right. Thanks, Hans. Take care.
Yeah, thanks. You have a great weekend.
You too.
And we'll see you again out here sometime.
Sounds
Definitely,
great.
Yeah.
Bye. Love
Cheers.
it.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.